On Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. What's next for a local man at the center of a major federal investigation? And a new facility under a state program aims to boost manufacturing and innovation. Plus, a special group is bringing an extra light to their town, and it's about more than just decorations.
And for your Friday and also your Saturday, of course, you know what's going on. We're going to be looking a little hot out there with highs near 90. Now, if that's not for you, we've got a polar vortex moving south to bring us a cold front this weekend. All down the weather coming up.
We look at day one of regional semifinal volleyball action and reveal Victoria's Volleyball All-District Awards. That's all coming up later in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads. Welcome to your Friday. Although some of you may not be as excited because with the current shutdown, a lot of air travel cancellations are bound to happen. I know I'm considering canceling my plans next week.
Yeah, I was going to say my dad is actually going to be flying out on Sunday as well, so we're going to be actually having more on that.
One of the busiest travel days.
Yeah, definitely very busy. Well, we're going to have lots more on that coming up later on Sunrise because this morning we're starting out with another nice morning out there in Victoria. We're starting out temperatures in the low 60s. We also got a beautiful sunrise out there. Look at that. But before I show you the conditions, look real closely in the background. You see how it looks kind of humid, or I guess kind of hazy out there? That's fog. You can kind of see it right there. You see there's a tree kind of disappearing in the fog right there. Got a little bit of that forming out there this morning because our dew point has dropped down to the temperature, bringing us 100% humidity. And if you combine that with our competent very light winds, we have a little bit of patchy fog out there this morning. So y'all please stay safe if you're going to be hitting the roads. Make sure to increase your following distance between you and the car in front of you, and also use your low beam headlights, not your brights, because that's actually different. But you can see pretty, like I said, pretty patchy in nature this morning. Also, I'm thinking pretty light, nothing dense out there just yet, but we do have dense fog advisories in effect. Going to be for our eastern counties from the National Weather Service up until 9 a.m. when all that pretty much burns off. But temperatures this morning starting out the day, not too bad, low and mid 60s. Also warmer upper 60s getting closer to the coast because you're next to that warm Gulf water. But we're looking for much chillier mornings next week with the cold front bringing us another round of fire danger. And we're going to look at all that coming up next because if you're sending your kiddos at the door this morning, pack up those sunglasses. It's going to be sunny and hot, of course. We'll look at the details next.
The federal trial against a Victoria man accused of money laundering is over. 48-year-old Jason Brannon took a plea deal after a 4-day federal trial. He faced multiple money laundering charges after a joint investigation by the DEA and the IRS. Agents arrested him last May and seized more than $155,000 in bundled cash, along with other evidence tying him to drug trafficking. Investigators say Brannon used several of his local businesses to move more than $600,000 in laundered money, some of which was used to pay drug dealers. Brannon will remain in custody awaiting sentencing, which has not been scheduled yet. Governor Greg Abbott announces a new project by Formosa Plastics is the latest one approved under the state's Jobs, Energy, Technology, and Innovation, or JETI program. Formosa is investing $150 million to open a new facility in Jackson County. It will produce a key ingredient used in making polyethylene, the world's most common plastic. Governor Abbott says the project will boost good-paying jobs and help keep Texas a national leader in manufacturing. Local leaders are calling it a huge win for the community. The process of removing all crosswalk art in downtown Victoria is underway. New TxDOT regulations are the cause for the removal. Earlier this year, they issued a statewide prohibition against political messages, artwork, or any other non-standard markings that may compromise safety. The removal of the art started Monday. We noticed there is still some artwork on Constitution Street intersections with Main and Bridge Streets. And once the artwork is removed, an asphalt seal will be applied to the crosswalks, and traditional pedestrian stripes will be repainted when necessary. This process is expected to take about 2 weeks. Cuero is preparing its annual Christmas in the Park display with a helping hand. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley takes a look at how a 15-year partnership with the city and the Stevenson Prison Unit is now allowing inmates to give back.
The Community Work Squad's reason for putting up Christmas lights in Cuero is to see the fulfillment and joy spread as they work together. One of the members, Martin Carrillo, recalls decorating the park with lights as a privilege and a chance to give back to the city.
Enjoy the time of season that it is, the reason for the season, and you know, to be able to just enjoy that time with family and loved ones and be able to get out and, you know, see things like this, like, you know, at this park, I mean, is really a time to cherish and a time to be able to enjoy, because, you know, not a lot of people get to have that privilege.
Taylor Tate is another Community Work Squad member who's helping to decorate the park this year.
It's Christmas time. I mean, who isn't happy at Christmas time?
He wants to show that he's able to make positive contributions to the community and says the Quail Christmas lights in the park is one of the greatest places to be.
It's really great that we're coming out here and doing it just to give something back. It's great for us to be able to get out and interact and be able to do this work for the community, and we really enjoy it.
First-year member Valdemiro Coy says he enjoys being of service and is only pushing for positive energy.
When I first got out here and started helping out, I felt like crying. You know what I mean? Just to be out of the fence and helping the people out, doing something positive for the community, walking around, and it just my emotions almost got the best of me. You know what I mean? It just that's how great it is to be free. You know what I mean? It's pretty much like freedom. Right. It's pretty much free.
All members of the Work Squad encourage families to visit the park to see the Christmas lights and to spend time with one another. Ray Mosley, KVU TV, 25 News Now.
Christmas in the park will light up on Monday, November 24th through New Year's Day. The city of Seadrift is working to fix damage blamed on heavy equipment used by a contractor for AEP. Residents say large trucks have torn up yards and streets, and now those concerns have made their way to City Hall. City officials say the Public Works Department will be out inspecting the damage and figuring out repair costs. They're promising quick action and accountability and asking anyone affected to report it by calling or stopping by City Hall. Victoria is getting ready to honor those who served with its annual Veterans Day Parade. On Tuesday, the parade starts off at 10 with our very own Don Brubaker as the Grand Marshal this year. And everyone is invited to gather at the courthouse steps for a special ceremony complete with banners, wreaths, and tributes to local vets. Chief Meteorologist Maclovia Perez will be making a presentation at the ceremony. And later in the evening, a special flag retirement ceremony will be held at the Field of Honor on John Stockbauer Drive. This is a moment to honor our nation's symbol of freedom and the brave men and women who have stood at its defense. For more local news content, weather, and sports, come to our website, crossroadstoday.com. It's now 6:37 on our Friday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. The new A&M Victoria president is settling into her role, her focus. That's coming up.
Thousands of flights are being canceled today as the new order from the FAA takes effect. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the details as the government shutdown hits day 38, the longest in U.S. history.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say it's going to be another hot day, of course, in Texas. So coming up next, I'll tell you just how hot I think it'll be near you.
Here's a look at what you can expect on this week's show. We hear from the Victoria ISD, Keep Victoria Beautiful. We learn about a turkey trot, and we also hear from Animal Services.
If you have somebody that's elderly that's worried about falling or tripping, we want them to feel safe in their neighborhood. You should be able to ride a bike or walk down any street in Victoria and not worry about getting chased by dogs.
Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Friday. It's weekend time, y'all. Get excited because we got lots of football games coming away this weekend, both local and college. Giga-Maggies. But more importantly, in the weather world, get excited because we have a cold front coming away this weekend, and it's going to make things so much nicer for next week, because before that gets here, it is not going to feel like November at all. And that's thanks to right here. You can see this whole time I've been talking, I've been pressing play in the future tracker. Did you see anything in terms of clouds? Well, there might be a little bit in the morning time, but otherwise the rest of the daytime, when the sun is really high in the sky, it's going to be high in the sky. We're going to be looking real sunny out there, y'all. So make sure you got your sunglasses packed, because that beaming Texas sun today going to heat us up to about 90 in Victoria. Is that hot enough for you in November? Because it's 13 degrees above where we're supposed to be this time of year. 77 is our climatological average on November 7th. But overnight tonight, we're looking at lows dropping down to about 62 under the clear skies in Victoria. That too is 8 degrees above where we're supposed to be. this time of year. But for everybody else today, going to be looking about the same this afternoon. Highs getting up to about 90, maybe upper 80s on the coast, and also western counties might get closer to the low end, maybe even mid 90s, getting closer to the George West and Three Rivers. And clear skies tonight. Like I said, let our lows radiationally cool down to the low 60s for most, maybe upper 60s on the coast because y'all are right next to that warm Gulf water. And tomorrow, if you thought today's hot, yeah, we'll be about a degree or two hotter than that. But the good news is that by the evening time, 5:45 sunsets, we're looking quite nice, and that's great for our game of the week. Bay City Black Cats versus Count. This is going to be a great game, y'all. Great local game. Looking at temperatures, like I said, low mid 70s by the beginning and end of the game, so get out there and enjoy that. But if you're looking for cooler temperatures, it's coming on the way with this front coming our way. It'll be here Sunday morning. Like I said, bringing us some fire danger once again. That's why we have an alert day up for Sunday. We're going to look at that and just how cool it's going to be next week coming up next.
Yesterday, we kicked off day one of the regional semifinal playoff action there for all volleyball teams. And first with Industrial Volleyball, they faced Santa Gertrudis Academy out in Rockport High School, and the Cobras win this one in 3 sets. They had a total of 41 total kills there as a team, and then 19 of those came from senior Carly Stanish. And again, the team's hitting efficiency as well as .811, which is very well there for the Cobras. They're going to face the Stockdale Bremas in the regional final. Again, they'll be next week, time and place to be announced. Over to Refugio Lady Cats. They faced Latonia Bulldogs yesterday at Edna High School. They would lose this one in straight sets, so they would end their season there in the regional semifinal. Congrats to a great year for the Lady Cats. Over to 2A Division II, where the Shiner Lady Comanches faced the Freer Buckaroos, and they won this one in straight sets at Kennedy High School. They're going to face either the Burton Panthers or the Aguadusa Longhorns in the regional final. Those two teams will play at Yoakum High School later on today at 5 p.m. And staying in volleyball, the Victoria East Titans, after losing in the air round this past Tuesday night versus Anderson, announced their all-district awards. First, District 22 5A co-MVP went to Camry King, and then first team out to Addison Temple, Lily Rather, and Jade McIntosh. Second team honors went to Olivia Saboro, Ella Shannon, and Kaylin Aguirre. And then finally, honorable mention kind of nominees were Ariana Cooley and Emma Luna. Congrats for all these honors for the East Titans. And again, later on there today, we're going to have Goliad and El Campo take the court for regional semi-final action, see if they can get the job done later on tonight. This is Max Williams, 25, News Now Sports.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can stream our daily newscast and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. Now to the flights being canceled across the country. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the latest as airport staffing concerns and the government shutdown continue.
This morning, flight reductions at 40 major airports are beginning to take effect. The FAA has ordered airlines to reduce flights at so-called high-impact airports by 4% this morning. That will gradually increase to 10% of flights by next Friday. Airlines not following the rules will be hit with a $75,000 fine per flight over the limit.
This is going to be huge. So on a given day in the U.S., there might be 100 to 200 flights canceled. This is going to be 4,000. And mind you, it's not just canceled flights. Because of these canceled flights, there's going to be thousands more delays as well.
The FAA says the air traffic reduction is needed for safety because of the shortage of air traffic controllers and TSA agents during the government shutdown. They're being forced to work without pay, and many are calling out sick. American Airlines beginning today will cancel about 220 of its 6,000 daily departures. Delta is canceling 170 per day, and United fewer than 200 per day through Sunday. Multiple airlines are offering refunds and free changes for impacted flights. And while travelers are frustrated,
my sister and I both were planning on going there and flying to Raleigh and surprising our parents. So it was definitely, disappointing.
Airport workers are struggling.
When I call out, I tell them the truth. Can't afford childcare. This is enough to hold over for maybe another week.
Another major issue during the shutdown is government food assistance. A federal judge yesterday ordered the Trump administration to provide full SNAP benefits to states by today. The administration had previously said it would use emergency funds to only partially fund the benefits. The administration is appealing the judge's order, once again leaving nearly 40 million people who rely on SNAP benefits in limbo. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Now settling into her new role as the new campus president for Texas A&M University Victoria, Dr. Christian Hardegree, says she plans to focus on regional needs and supporting students. Now that the campus is under the A&M system, there will no longer be a presence in the Katy area. Dr. Christian Hardegree says she'll work with faculty and staff to make more of a local impact and presence than in years past.
It's an opportunity to really look at who are we serving and how are we serving them. Getting back to ensuring that we're serving the community we're located in, that we're offering the types of degree programs that matter to the people of South Texas.
On Saturday, A&M Victoria is hosting an aviation day at the Victoria Regional Airport to promote its new aviation degree program that's set to launch in fall of 2026. If you see news happening, let us know. Call the number on your screen to contact our newsroom or email us your tips at staff@crossroadstoday.com. It's now 6:47 on our Friday morning, still to come on Sunrise. With Thanksgiving just weeks away, new concerns are emerging about your holiday table. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Maverick. Happy birthday to our son. Hope you have a great day. You've been a blessing in our life, and we hope that your day is just as special as you are to us. Love from Mom and Dad.
Oh, that's so sweet. Happy birthday, Maverick. And also happy birthday to Joni Mitchell. The Canadian-born singer and songwriter has 11 Grammy Awards and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1997. She's turning 82 today. Happy birthday. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, it's now 6:48 on our Friday. I want to wish Tony a very happy birthday.
Wow, happy birthday, Tony.
I hope you have a great day, and I hope you have a great day if you're celebrating a birthday today or even this weekend.
That's right. Happy birthday this weekend as well. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw the 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you saw what I was talking about, how we're going to be a little bit hot for the next 48 hours. I say hot because it's November. We're supposed to be looking at highs in the 70s this time of year. You saw that on the almanac a second ago, but if you're not a fan of this heat, like we've been talking about all week long, trying to get y'all excited about it, we've got a cold front. It'll be here Sunday morning. I'm thinking somewhere between 5, 6, 7 in the morning, maybe a little earlier or later, give or take an hour. But that's going to be bringing us some lovely weather for next week, y'all. We're going to be dropping from the 90s down to the 30s for low temperatures Veterans Day Tuesday morning. Mid-30s possibly in our northern counties with wind chills possibly below freezing. So I think that's enough for me to say I hope you've got your jacket washed because it's going to be a bit chilly just for a couple mornings next week. But before we can truly enjoy the nice weather, we have an alert day up for Sunday, and we're going to look at what that's about here in a second because the front that's coming our way this weekend, it's coming off of this. Sounds scary. It's the polar vortex, but it's nothing scary for us. It's actually going to be scary for the northeastern states because they're going to be very cold up there. But the front, you can see it'll be here, I'm thinking Sunday morning, like I said, 5 to 7, bringing us that round of fire danger. And that's why we have the alert day up for Sunday. All 13 Crossroads counties, we're going to be expecting desert dry humidity, 10 to 20%, and also some gusty winds, 25 to 35 miles an hour. So if you have any loose items outside, secure that down to the ground. But if we combine those conditions with our drought monitor that just updated yesterday morning, we have some folks in the level 4 out of 5 extreme drought, and combine it with our burn bans, let's just say no burning, please. We'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
With less than 3 weeks until Thanksgiving, new concerns are emerging about a potential rise in turkey and egg prices. ABC's Andrea Fuigi takes a look at how a surge in bird flu cases are impacting prices at the grocery store.
This morning, with less than 3 weeks until Thanksgiving, new concern that turkey and egg prices could rise once again. That's because bird flu cases are rising again as more wild birds head south. Within the last month, nearly 70 poultry flocks nationwide have been hit with the virus, killing more than 3.5 million turkeys, chicken, and ducks.
Wild birds are really the carrier for the avian influenza virus, especially migratory waterfowl.
Experts fear the government shutdown and staff cuts at the CDC and Agriculture Department could weaken the federal response. One virologist telling NPR a network of researchers used to be in constant contact with federal agencies to monitor cases, but she says that communication has been scaled back, saying, "We're not in a great position for monitoring things. I'm finding myself in a very uncomfortable place." The number of turkeys in the U.S. has already dropped to its lowest size in nearly 40 years. With limited supply, wholesale turkey prices are up 75% in the last year. Retail prices up about 25%. Egg prices may also suffer, but there are Thanksgiving deals to be had. Walmart says it's lowering the cost of its Thanksgiving meal bundle by 25% this year. And Target is offering a Thanksgiving dinner for 4 for just $20.
Overall, grocery bills are up. Just the price of meat is up. The price of, other commodities are up. And this is why retailers are putting promotions on for Thanksgiving staples earlier than they typically would to help people spread out that spend.
A CDC spokesperson insists they have the staff to respond to any urgent public health threats, even during the government shutdown. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Suspense at a military base after a mysterious package causes concern. A suspicious package was delivered to a U.S. military base in Maryland on Thursday. Sources say the package contained a white powder, causing multiple people to fall ill. A source says an initial field test did not detect anything hazardous, but the investigation is still open. The extent of the illness is unknown. President Trump was at Joint Base Andrews on Wednesday. The IRS announced its free online tax filing system, Direct File, will not be available in 2026. The Inflation Reduction Act required the IRS to look at creating a free direct e-filing service for taxpayers. However, the program has faced criticism from Republican lawmakers. They claim it's a waste of taxpayer money because other commercial tax preparation companies already offer free filing programs for some filers. The U.S. military has conducted another deadly strike in the Caribbean. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth said Thursday's strike targeted a boat in international waters that allegedly trafficked drugs. 3 people were killed in the attack. The Pentagon confirmed no U.S. forces were harmed. Since September, the U.S. military has killed 70 people in 17 strikes that have destroyed 18 boats. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our fog as the sun rises. Parker, can you point that out for us?
Yes, I can point that out for you, Carolina. It's going to be right here. You see way out in the distance, you see the tops of the clouds, or the clouds, top of the tree, I guess also technically the top of the clouds. That's what fog is. It's just clouds on the ground. You can see some of that right there. A little bit of patchy fog trying to form around the crossroads this morning. You can see it in some other patchy areas as well. But this morning we're seeing some of that fog because the temperature has continued falling down to that dew point of 61, bringing us that 100% humidity underneath the calm to very light winds. That's exactly why we're seeing the air humidify up into water vapor, which is fog. Also clouds. Fun story. But you can see, like I was saying, it's pretty patchy around the area this morning, all across the crossroads. So if you're going to be hitting the roads early this morning, make sure to stay safe and increase your following distance between you and the car in front of you. I don't think there's going to be too much dense fog to worry about, but there might be a couple patchy areas. So just stay safe with that if you see that. But temperatures this morning, don't really need a jacket. We're starting out in the low and mid 60s. Also mid to upper 60s on the coast because you're right next to that warm Gulf water. But with that sun coming up, you just saw right there, it's going to be a bit of a warm one out there. You heard me talking about it all morning long. We're looking for a high of 87 in Port Lavaca, mid 80s by noontime. A bit warmer in Victoria, 90 today, and also a bit warmer in Cuero. I'm thinking 91. So y'all stay safe in the heat. It'll be with us today and tomorrow before finally the cold front gets here this weekend, and we're once again looking beautiful for next week.
All right, thank you, Parker, and thank you all for being with us this morning. Be sure, don't barbecue this weekend, fire danger.
Safe, please.
And join Shana, Don, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Have a great Friday.